Janie and I came back to Texas in 1969. At that time, the company had 11 stores, and we were doing less than $6 million worth of business. Today, we have 37 stores in 27 cities in Texas. We handle furniture, and we handle appliances, TVs, and bedding. Our stores range in size from a very small town store at 14,000 square feet up to 67,000 square feet. How do we reach all these customers? Well, what we do is we have direct mail for some of them. We do newspaper. We do a lot of television. We do freestanding inserts in the newspaper. We have a lot of events in our stores, and some of which we reach the customer by direct mail, and some we reach by telephone calls. We began seeing that while we were growing, we weren't seeing the same aggressive rate of growth that we'd had in the past. It was a declining rate of growth, in which was a downward trend line, which said to us that, well, we better do something, and we better do something fast.
Later we did MBT1, it rolled into MBT2, and then into MBT3, and they just kept going. But the positive effects on associates was just amazing. Everybody was part of the process. There was no such thing as selling it to the stores. They were part of the brainstorming. They were part of the ideas. They saw their ideas being brought to the table, being tested. And so there was tremendous excitement. It's hard to express how committed and excited they were.
And now we've got, at least through MBT4, we have 11 factors or ideas that came out of the brainstorming that in our test have now become company policies and are being conducted in all 37 of our stores. What have we learned from the MBT process? First off, there were treasured beliefs that everybody has that were proven to be wrong. Of the stores that were testing the factors, the store that did the best had a 29% increase in sales, and they were testing 8 out of 9 of the winning factors from that particular session.
One of the unintended consequences for me, again, and it became such an important thing, was seeking continuing compliance, getting everybody to continue to do the things that we knew worked. It seems so self-evident that you find a factor and you tell your organization, this improves sales by 7 to 10%. Those stores that did it flourish. It's worth it. The process requires work, but it's really worth it. And if that could be dancing and singing with music, I mean, you can't make it's worth it loud enough and big enough and strong enough, because it's such an incredibly powerful process.
White on the left side of the screen shows you the year-to-year sales increases, and then you can see the yellow is the time once we started the QualPro process. So you can see there was definitely a change in the direction of sales increases after we started during the MBT process, and that chart alone tells you why we think it was worth it. It has done a lot for us in terms of performance. It has improved the morale of our associates who see that these are these positive effects that are going on and they're participating in the process. It gives us the ability to innovate, to do new things that we hadn't done before. It gives us the chance to introduce long-term changes to the organizations. Why would we recommend MBT and QualPro to other people? Well, it works, it's very satisfying, and allows us to test so many different ideas at one time.
Today, my job is to impart to you how MBT has affected us at BFRC. What we've learned is incredible, so I could tell you right now that we're big fans of the group at QualPro. We're big fans of the MBT process. BFRC owns 2,200 tire and automotive retail centers across the U.S. We're the largest number of company-controlled tire and automotive generalist retail locations in the entire world, and we're pretty darn proud of that. Now through 2012, we'll be growing to a tune of 100 brand new locations a year. By utilizing the MBT process, by working with the team at QualPro, we've been able to really come together as a team. The operations side, the finance side, the marketing side, with one common goal. Let's understand what works so that we know what we do, because in this day and age, don't be spending $1 if you're not sure it's working. We wanted to challenge everything. We wanted to challenge pricing strategies, advertising intensity, media, promotions, promotional content. You see it there. And we also wanted to measure Bridgestone brand connection, because we have an obligation to our parent company to be able to feature the Bridgestone and Firestone brands. Ad timing, ad targeting, placement, cross-promotional activity, media and combinations, internet, CRM. question everything that we do. So they dared us to think really big and broad on what we wanted to learn. And they challenged us because they said that the NVT testing platform can handle it. And it sure did. So here's what we've done. We ended up getting back from the field. Now this was the field. 400 factors across the country. We ended up settling on 32 factors, ideas that were ultimately tested, 36 unique recipes, 45 markets, 661 stores were involved in the test. A very robust, a lot of horsepower behind this test. What MBT allowed us to do is to be able to kind of help push that envelope and help us better understand the things that we don't know. Because the things that we don't know is what we really need to concentrate on. And that allowed us to really kind of challenge the status quo. What MBT taught us, well, we're a $3.5 billion operation. Remember we talked about little wins? When a $3.5 billion operation has little wins that represent 3% effects, positive effects on your business, I can tell you that's a huge gain. We learned how to maybe stimulate our brands, our product brands within what we do. And that was also key. So we can guess or we can test. But we did find out one thing, that sacred cows sure make tasty steaks.